What's up, you guys? This is Thomas McElroy, and you're listening to The Break It Down Show.
On The Break It Down Show today, we're excited, man. Scott Eddy.
Yeah.
How's it going, guys?
It's going great, man.
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing spectacular.
How long are you in town?
I have no idea. It could be a couple months. I could be here for the balance of the year. But no matter where I am, I always travel around a lot. So wherever I am, it's just my home base.
That's such a great answer, man. And I think that's one of the things that makes you so damn compelling. You are a decent looking cat, don't get me wrong. But easy. I think the compelling part for me is just how you're just out there, man. You're out in the world. And everybody wants to be out in the world.
How I got here is not the prettiest story in the world. You know, it definitely didn't come easy. I didn't take the easy path.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that path. I mean, if you want to start there and catch our listeners up so that they understand how damn cool you are. Because one of the things that binds our guests, I think, is not taking the easy path. You were a stockbroker.
I was, but even before that, I had the pretty simple, basic Brady Bunch upbringing. And I had very strict parents, and we all sat down and ate dinner at 6 o'clock every night. And my father was a police officer, and very strict household. And, you know, you had to hold the door open for my mother and my sister before we walked in the door, or else I got the shit kicked out of me. You know, so I was instilled with those good manners at a very young age. I was very, very extremely close to my father, and he was killed in the line of duty 3 weeks before I graduated high school. And it really turned my whole life upside down.
Yeah, I bet.
Well, I had no idea what I was going to do. I obviously didn't want to be a cop anymore. I was like just sitting there in space for like 6 months. The only thing I did know is I wasn't going to university or college. I absolutely hated school. I feel like I learned enough, and I just thought it was a waste of time. So I applied to work at a stock brokerage firm to join the internship there. I ended up staying, and I did that for 10 years, and I learned probably the best skill you can learn in any industry out there is how to sell.
Sure.
All of our clients were over the phone, so you literally had to talk to somebody who you never met before, have them fall in love with you within 30 seconds, and then buy something that they didn't know they were going to buy. So it's, you know, I learned that at a very young age.
That is a great training ground.
Listen, I was 19 when I applied there, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Well, let me slow you down just a second, because as an international man of mystery as you are, and a travel writer and a guy who's a globetrotter, all those things that you've said so far in the 45 seconds that you've given us a bio, they all feed right into where you are, because being polite gives you the baseline of any human society.
100%.
You can drop into anywhere in the world, and if you are visibly polite, even if you don't know the customs, if you don't have the details right, if you are visibly polite, I think that starts you off on the right foot.
100%. But I'll also add one more thing, just moving forward, and then I'll come back to where I was. The biggest thing that I learned when I went overseas is you learn patience. Because in America, you get what you want when you want very quick, and everything is very efficient.
Yeah.
Even if you lived here and you never went overseas, understand that the most frustrating part of living in American society in a third world country, it's the utmost luxury, because things just don't happen in a snap.
Right.
You know, you can move to a country and wait for internet to be installed in a month.
Right.
And then it goes down every single day. So, I mean, it's something that we take advantage of, take it for granted every day of our life.
If you want tacos at 1 a.m. in Germany, good luck.
Yeah.
You know?
Also, I mean, there are some places where you actually hear the phrase, "We don't have that here." We don't have it.
You get told no
That's
all
it.
the time.
Yeah, it's just no.
And you go to a restaurant. It's not uncommon to go into a restaurant and you order something on the menu and they say, "No, we don't have that. We don't know when we're getting it in again."
Right.
But they have something in their culture where they're very warm and friendly and kind. They just don't think anything about it, take it out of their head, and they go on to what their second best, and they don't let it bother them at all. It's absolutely crazy.
Right.
That's the patience piece. So please continue.
Oh, so I was a broker for 10 years, and they sold the firm to someone else, and I felt it was time for me to resign. I did fairly well. I went to go visit a friend who was living in Thailand, older guy, wife and kids, lives outside of Bangkok. And he's like, "Look, You've never been to Europe. You've never been to Asia. Get your ass on a flight and come out here. Trust me, it will change your life. So I went to Thailand, and I didn't think it was possible to be in a city, and Bangkok's pretty big. I mean, the city center, it probably has 13, 14 million people. It's almost the same size as New York City.
Yeah.
So I didn't think it was possible to be in a city that size, and the people are warm and friendly and kind. The same thing you would see if you went to a city in the U.S. of a town of like
Small
1,000
town
people.
village. Yeah.
Where everybody knows everybody's name, and they're just warm and friendly, and you don't have to worry about the smash and grabs and the burglaries and, you know, like all the stupid crime that we see on every day. Road rage, things like that.
Right.
So this is unheard of. I had no idea. And you're in a country with nothing but opportunity. And being an American, you have a lot of advantages because they all really respect Americans, and they actually love Americans. So I decided that I definitely did not want to live in the States anymore. I wanted to spend some time overseas, and I ended up living there. This was in 99, and I ended up living there full time until 2006.
Wow.
So I had a couple marketing agencies over there, did fairly well, but I was just loving life. I was traveling around Asia, did Hong Kong and Singapore quite a bit. Then in 2006, they did a coup and removed the prime minister. Now, doing a coup is a big name, a big thing to do for people like Bloomberg and CNN, but actually living there, it was very peaceful. There was no issues for people living there. There was no heartaches. It was an inconvenience. But there wasn't any problems. I shut my business down and I went to go visit my friend in Barcelona. Ended up absolutely loving Barcelona. I mean, like, this is the most beautiful city I've ever lived in my life. So I lived there for 3 years and visited Ibiza a lot. And just Spain is a great, great country. A little bit difficult to do business there. Their economy is very difficult, and the setting up businesses and the functionalities of everyday life is very like stuck in the Stone Ages.
Sure. But it's fun though. I love Barcelona.
Loads of fun.
I was there one time on a long layover on purpose during Euro Cup time.
Oh, okay.
And it was bonkers.
Yeah, great city.
Yeah, whatever country you wanted to sit with and party with, as an American, I couldn't buy a drink.
Right.
And they're like, just watch Netherlands, just watch it and yell at us. And so, whatever. It was fantastic. And I'm glad you brought up that your experience shows you that people like Americans generally abroad.
Absolutely.
Because we've got a real bad misconception here that we're hated abroad. And it's just not true. Maybe as a nation and our politics aren't appreciated, but as world travelers.
No, it's not true at all.
Yeah, right. No, we're accepted.
100%.
Absolutely.
100%. I mean, look, you're going to get the odd person,
right,
but you get the good and the bad wherever you go.
Sure.
But definitely more pro than con.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. If you have the ability to get out and travel, you'll see that. And if you are a warm, open person, you will definitely see the better side of anybody, whether you're in Rome or Phuket or anywhere. It's going to be a lot better if you get out and don't have that preconceived notion that they don't like us.
Let me tell you something. One thing that I've learned in my, and I've lived overseas since 99, I still have not spent more than 6 months back home. I have no desire to be here. This will be my longest stint that I've ever been back home. One thing I've learned is if you're a shitty person in general,
yep, no
matter where you go, you're going to attract other shitty people.
Doesn't matter.
If you're a nice person, you're going to attract nice people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the bottom line.
Yeah. The other thing about countries abroad and their relationship with America is we have to lose sight sometimes of the fact that we are the great experiment. For the most part, it's working, and people are fascinated by that. So if you're willing to just be human and share some of your experience, people will share right back. It's all about reciprocation, really, anywhere you go.
100%.
I mean, you are a pleasant guy, and the pleasantness is going to come out of everybody else.
1,000%. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, for sure. You've been to a lot of countries. We stopped you off. You were leaving. You were going to Barcelona. Pick it up from there if you would.
So was there for a few years and then went up to London with a friend from the States, and we were setting up an investment banking firm there and had everything done, office fitted out.
You just don't know the rules. You can't be running around the world just starting businesses. You're just like, I don't care. I'm going to go do this.
When I have something in my head, I move with passion and I take my gut, and I think fate has a lot to do with it. If I'm going in, I'm going all in.
Man, that's fantastic. We love that.
I have literally lost every penny I've had twice.
It don't matter. They got more.
I could care less because these days, you're getting into the time where, money's always going to matter, but it's definitely not the most important thing.
Yeah.
If you have the relationships, if you have the right kind of network surrounding you, if you have, like I'm building up, I spent the last 4 years building up my social currency, building up my personal brand. I mean, it's the way the world is going.
Yeah.
Tell me that if I have 1 million followers across all my platforms, which right now I have close to 750.
Yeah.
If I have that, tell me what business I can't be successful in. Because I think the opposite of the normal entrepreneur. The normal entrepreneur has an idea, looks for funding, builds it out, gets office space, finds employees, and then markets himself.
Right.
And then he has to go find customers.
Yes.
I have the customer base already.
For whatever it is you want to start.
For whatever industry I want to go in.
Right.
And I can dive in. I already have 1 million people to talk to. And again, I'm not shoving things down my followers' throats every day. I love my followers to death. Guys, listen to me. I absolutely adore you. And I have never sold out my timeline. My social media, 1,000% is for developing relationships.
Yep.
If I didn't have the social media that I had, and I'll fast track back to here. Let me just fast track. We're in London. I got absolutely crushed. The financial crisis came. I lost every penny I had.
Right.
I went back home for a couple months, came back to Spain, went back to Thailand. Then I spent a year in the Philippines, Portugal, Sri Lanka, whatever. Okay, a lot of different countries. So a month and a half ago, I'm sitting in Bangkok in my apartment, and I get a tweet from a travel startup here in San Francisco. And that tweet said, look, do you want to be a beta tester or an insider for our app? Something along those lines. I can't remember exactly what it said. I quickly respond because I respond to everybody, which is something that's rare in social media as soon as you get to a certain level.
Right.
So, and I said, what makes your app more special than the million other apps that are out there? And we took the conversation offline. We ended up Skyping for a few hours. And a couple hours later, he ended up offering me his global brand ambassador. I loved the idea so much. 6 days later, I was on a flight to San Francisco.
Yeah.
So the past 4 years, 100% of everything that I've done in business comes directly from Twitter.
Wow.
And it's because I'm human.
Yep.
It's because I don't sell out my timeline and blast my followers with all this bullshit and spam.
Yeah.
Because I treat everybody like a human being.
Yeah. You say these things as if they're a playbook, but the other thing that's important about all of the practices are that they're sincere practices. So it's not just that, hey, I'm going to make a calculated effort to answer everybody back. You're just an answer everybody back kind of guy. You just wired yourself with a...
I have a rule.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work in the real world, it's not going to work in the literal world, in the digital world.
Right.
And that's the way I was taught.
It's no different.
It would be like you're standing on the street and someone comes up to you and says, do you know where so-and-so is? Are you literally going to just turn your head and not answer?
Stand there and ignore them.
So if you don't do it in real life, why would you do it in social media?
Right. Yeah.
It's beyond me. It's astounding to me that the etiquette that is lacking in social media. It's unbelievable.
In general, in the digital world, not just social media, but just sending somebody an email and not getting an email
all that
back.
stuff.
All
absolutely.
of that. Yeah.
The overall common courtesy to respond to somebody, it's easy on the computer just to ignore that stuff, but it doesn't make it less, I don't know. It doesn't make it okay. And that extra step
You're
makes
still
you
douchey.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And that extra step makes you more available. It makes you more marketable, makes you way more interesting.
It does. It makes you more interesting, and it just makes people want to latch on to whatever it is you're doing a lot more. I mean, we have a friend, and I call him a friend. I don't hang out at his house, but we found him on Twitter, and Pete tweeted him, and we're fans of his. His name is Mick Betancourt, and he's got a podcast that we listen to religiously.
What's the podcast?
It's the Mick Betancourt Show.
Okay.
And he's great.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's a comedian and a screenwriter. He makes his living as a screenwriter. But he answered right back, and we said, hey, we're coming to L.A., and you're in L.A., and we love your podcast. Want to be on ours? And he said, yeah, come on by.
That's so cool.
And that was it.
That's so cool.
And, so what does that do for him? Well, he sacrificed an hour of his life. But guess what? He's got a couple fans that will never desert him. And he's got hopefully a couple thousand fans of ours who have jumped on and gotten onto his show. And once you get onto his show, he's got his own compelling reason for you to stick to it. And that's it. So great. We can all put each other together and we can do all of those things where we, hey, you should expose our friends to our other friends.
Absolutely.
But ultimately what happens is, and the reason why, we can talk about how you got 500,000 Twitter followers, but what's more important, I think, because you've touched on how you got 500,000 Twitter followers, is how you keep 500,000 Twitter followers.
That's the most important.
And that's really what you're talking about, the human element. The thing about you is not just that you travel to all these places and we all are a little jealous and want to be a little like Scott Eddy for getting to do all this stuff. But the fact is you keep us wanting to see what you're up to because you're a human being.
100%. And you got to treat your people as a human being. I mean, I got news for you. The people that I am close to in my life that I've met on social media, I have some stronger relationships with those people than other people that I've known my whole life.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. I have met the most down to earth, good, wholehearted people that I've ever met in my life. It's absolutely amazing. It blows me away every day.
Yeah, well, how you meet somebody is less important nowadays than
absolutely.
How you build that bond.
Yeah.
And after you meet somebody, well, you've met. Big deal how it happened.
Now what?
Now what?
That's the big thing.
You have the fortunate situation of being able to interact with a lot of people. Also because you've been to a lot of places, though. Like if you grow up in, say, Fresno, and Fresno and all your friends are from Fresno, it's difficult to meet somebody from Olympia, Washington or Bangkok because it's so far afield for you that it's difficult to do that. And what you're talking about is really the way I think that modern communication is going to happen. Is you're not limited by distance. You're limited by a Twitter feed, which is unlimited for the most part. I mean, Facebook, everything else.
What limits you and what most people have a problem with, and especially on Twitter, people just don't get it because Twitter as a brand, and oh my God, please, I absolutely adore the brand Twitter. It's definitely my favorite company in the world. Having said that, they don't do a good enough job explaining to people how it will benefit them. And they don't explain how to fall in love with it. Facebook is very easy because it draws you closer to your closest friends and your closest family, and it has that connection. They're very, very good at that.
Yeah.
Twitter is not. So Twitter, if you set up an account, and even if you have the best content in the world, unless you're a household name, unless you're a celebrity, unless you had a movie coming out or you're going to be in a magazine, how are the followers ever going to know about you?
Yeah.
Like, I'm nobody. I could have 500,000 followers. I'm nobody.
Right.
I'm not a household name. No, I can't walk down the street and 1,000 people, thank God, know who I am chasing me down the street for an autograph. I don't want that. I have no desire. But if I don't go out there aggressively following people first and following the right people first, and if I follow 1,000 people, for sure, I'll get 20 to 40% following me back within 48 hours. For sure. But it's about who am I targeting?
Yeah.
What industries am I targeting? I only target people that are engaging.
Right.
And I find those engaging accounts and I actually follow those people. So if I follow 100 engaging people, I'll get a much higher percentage following me back. And then I know if I put out good content, those people will engage with me.
All right.
What's good content?
It depends who you are. Depends what your ultimate goal is. Are you a housewife just killing time?
Right.
I'm what you would call a social media influencer in majority of the travel world, but also in the entrepreneur and startup and a little bit in the wine world as well. And that's primarily my following. The 5 main things that I tweet about: luxury, travel, entrepreneurship, wine, and startups. So my goal is to build up my personal brand around those sectors. So I know that those things I love. So the only people that I'll attract are people that also love one, if not all, of those sectors, because that's what I concentrate on every day. That's my content.
Yeah.
So it depends who you are. Are you a podcast focusing on motivation and inspiration, and you're targeting the Bay Area and the Northwest or the entire US? That's that your content is going to match that.
Sure.
You're going to put out a lot of positive and inspirational quotes. You're going to tweet positive articles, uplifting articles, and whatever your target market is, you got to look at your goal at the end of the day. What are you trying to accomplish on social media? I want to develop relationships, so I want to give 90% of the time.
Right.
And if I ask for something, it's very minimal. I can probably count on two hands how many times I've ever asked for anything online.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good way to be able to look at it. Giving out, and then the things that you need will come to you anyhow. You're providing.
You surround yourself with your circle is your most important thing in your life. I always say keep your circle tight, because I think Jim Rohn or somebody like that said this long, long ago. You are the sum of your 5 closest people or 6 closest people, whatever it is. So, and it's true.
Yeah.
If you surround yourself with douchebags, guess what you're going to be at the end of the day?
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
If you surround yourself with guys who are entrepreneurs and everyone is having an exit and they're selling off their companies and they're working 20 hours a day, it's kind of hard for you to be unemployed sitting on your couch, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Someone's going to need your help doing something. Yeah.
It goes back to the old saying. When you're dressing for work, you don't dress for your position. You dress for the position that you want.
Right.
That's right. That's why I'm going to dress like the center fielder for the San Francisco Giants. Not really.
Yeah, I don't think you can wear his pants.
If you like the show,
and you know you do,
send us some pictures of your boobies.
Don't do that. Support the show.
There are 3 ways you can support us.
Number 1, go to iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you listen to podcasts.
And leave a 5-star rating and review.
It helps with the show metrics, and it helps us get better placement. Number 2,
visit our website,
www.breakitdownshow.com.
We've got an Amazon and an eBay link.
Same Amazon, same eBay, you know and love, but they give us a little kickback when you get to their site from ours. And number 3, leave comments about the shows that you like. We want to know what you think, how you feel.
Tell us how to make the show better. We greatly appreciate it.
Now back to the show.
We like boobies.
I tweeted at the beginning of the show a picture of you, just saying that you were on the show and that we were glad to have you or something like that. And you're telling a good story. And my phone won't stop blowing up.
Yeah. Yeah, you were connected. By the way, while we're sitting there, and this has very little to do with Mr. Scott Eddy, Fillmore Slim became my friend.
All right, Fillmore Slim.
So
we're big
excited
fans of
about
Fillmore
that.
Slim, too. So what are you doing in town?
Well, I'm here. I'm the new global brand ambassador for a new travel app that's coming out within the next few weeks called Zipkick.
So your Zipkick trip that you referenced where you were on a plane 5 days later,
Yeah.
that happened 5 days ago.
No. I've been here for a month.
Oh, okay.
So that happened about 4.5 weeks ago.
Okay. Well, still.
That's still incredible.
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
talking about a story in the, practically in the present tense.
You can't even imagine how many stories I have in the past 4 years that start with, it all started with a tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. It really, really is remarkable. And, even though I'm here and I'm going through it every day, it still blows my mind. Every morning I wake up and look at my Twitter account to follow everybody back that followed me overnight, that I still have that amount of people. I'm waiting for the day when I wake up and I only have 1,000 followers and this was all a dream.
It was all
Wow.
a dream.
Like it still hasn't hit me. It's truly unbelievable to me.
So what are you doing in town as the global brand ambassador?
We're lining up a team of travel bloggers all over the world that are basically going to be our mini ambassadors. Doing a lot of stuff internally, getting ready for the app launch and here for the launch, and going to be doing a lot of other things. It's looking like I'm probably going to be based here for the majority of this year.
Oh, okay.
But I am going back to Thailand on a press trip the end of March, and I'm probably going back again for a conference in October. So those 2 trips are pretty much done, and then I'll be doing a lot of other trips, possibly with Miss Fly Solo sitting next to me.
Yeah.
soon. Are we going to
That's our
include her in
homegirl,
the show?
Teresa
Or?
Rodriguez. She's got her head into something, and she's always got a place at our table.
I think she needs to be on the show.
Writing about Dubai.
Okay, we'll write about this first.
All right. So
grab the mic and join us.
Teresa's actually had an episode too, so she's a friend of the show officially now.
yeah,
Nice.
she's a Break It Down show veteran.
We got the
and
microphone.
of course, she's our homegirl.
Break it down, Teresa.
The other thing,
With my sexy voice.
yeah, indeed.
Raspy.
Get this thing turned up.
We walked into the building and we forgot what suite. That's how Pete and I operate. We know you're at 50 something. We just go to the 5th floor, poke around. Nice. And we got off of the elevator, and as we usually do, we went, well, what suite is she in? And then we looked at each other, and we're genuinely surprised each time, even though this has happened 350 times. Hey, what suite is she in? I don't know. I thought you knew. Well, I don't know. And then we heard Teresa's beautiful raspy voice saying something. And then
Laughing.
we heard,
Holding court is what she was doing.
that she was holding court. And what we did was we just sort of drifted towards we were sucked in by the gravitational pull of the lovely Teresa Rodriguez. How you doing, Teresa?
I'm doing fabulous.
Yeah, you sound fabulous.
Yeah, my raspy voice.
Yeah. Are you a little under the weather?
I think there's been a super bug going around, and I don't think that it helps that I've been on 9 airplanes since January 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And those airplanes have taken you quite a few miles. So yeah, man, you're a
Dubai.
globetrotter yourself. Dubai. Keep going.
Tucson,
Okay.
and just back from Mexico.
Yes.
I love when Teresa goes to Mexico.
'Cause
I
there-
feel like
'cause
I'm
there are
almost
pictures.
there. Yeah, there's pictures.
And they're all just
oh yeah.
azure seas.
Right?
So,
I
yeah.
think that's a good thing, is like being able to take photos and like wish you were here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cocktails.
We live vicariously through you when you were actually, what was the other thing on when you're on your Dubai trip? You
Yeah.
posted the first thing you posted was a picture. You were on the plane
Oh, yes.
and your luxurious surroundings on the plane.
Yes,
Looks
Emirates
scrumptious.
Airlines
Boy.
they bought a brand new A380 that flies direct from San Francisco to Dubai.
Wow.
And the upstairs is
What is that, a
only-
14 and a half hour
It's
flight?
16 hours,
16
but when
hours.
you're upstairs, it's
Yeah.
it's always cocktail
There's
hour.
a shower.
There's 2 showers.
Uh-huh.
First class has 14 suites, and then in the back is business class, which has like 70. But just to put in perspective, the lower level has 400.
Wow.
So that's the difference, and it's basically the same size.
Yeah.
And you know the upstairs has got a bar, so it's always cocktail hour.
Yes. We love a bar.
Yeah, it was
that's
amazing.
a nice
And
way to
it's-
travel.
You sleep in the back. It's actually incredible. And a lot of people that were on the plane used their airline miles to fly to Dubai. So
Yeah.
people think, oh, I'm never going to be able to fly the A380. But honestly, you can make it a goal, like a true goal.
Yeah. So get out there, road warriors. Get to work. Every time your boss says, hey, do you mind going to Philadelphia? No, I don't mind.
Right?
I'll go.
I love cheesesteak. Darsh Woods was just in Philly getting
Yeah,
the
we want to
cheesesteaks.
know, Darsh Woods, we want to know whether Geno's lived up to its reputation. I think based on pictures it did.
Yeah.
He's another guy who gets around.
He flies.
Yeah.
Oh, personally flies.
Yeah. No,
He's
he
a
flies.
FedEx
That's
pilot.
his job. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's
So
all
he
over the
shows
place.
up in all kinds of places.
You know what? I met Darsh Woods in Hawaii. That's where I met him.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know him before that. We just ran into each other, and then
Oh, that's where else I was this year. Hawaii.
that's right.
Oh my God.
This year
So
it's
Hawaii,
February.
Keep track of it.
Dubai,
Yeah.
Tucson, Mexico.
Tucson, slightly less sexy. All those places are really, really sexy. Although I'm sure you had a wonderful time.
It was for the Food and Wine Festival I helped produce in San Francisco.
Get down.
Yeah.
So what were you doing down there?
We were planning for next year. I think the thing is, too, and Scott can touch on this as well, is that when you live the life that you want, you have different segments of your life doing different things that help make money. And I think that's really important, is that you can't just say, you don't necessarily have to do just one thing. You can do a bunch of different things.
Sure.
So I produce events as well,
Yeah.
raise my baby,
Right.
write books.
It's
Right
called hustling.
We love the
Never
hustle.
stop the hustle.
We love the hustle on this show.
Yeah.
We talk about it all the time.
Yep. It's the
When
running
you're-
theme.
Well, when you have your own personal brand, when you're not a company and you have a list of services, when you're a personal brand, you're doing 15 different things. And you're not opposed to somebody sending you an email one day saying, how can we collaborate? And then a new service just comes out of thin air. And then you say, oh, that's cool. Let's do it.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
So, yeah.
And you jump on what sounds cool.
You'd think I had any desire to come to the States this year? It would have been the last thing I would have checked on my to-do list.
Yeah.
But it happened. I met the right person, right time. Fate stepped in, and now we're sitting here.
Yeah. And you're sitting here for our listeners elsewhere in San Francisco in February. It's probably 70, 72 degrees.
In the sun,
sun's out.
In the sun, and probably 55 in the shade.
Well, we're sitting up here in rather comfortable environs and not having to shovel snow or anything of the like, of course.
And we are fortunate with that.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
So, I know that where you came from was absolutely lovely, but we're not doing too bad over here for you.
You're not doing too bad, and you got the San Francisco uniform on. You got the hoodie.
Yeah. Right. Layers, man.
Hoodie and shorts all day long.
Keep you going.
Yeah.
So what do you imagine is on your horizon for a guy who may spend quite a bit of time here for the rest of the year? And I know I'm asking you a question that you don't have a planned answer to, but what with as many irons as you have in the fire, what looks like it's on fire out there? What are you interested in doing?
I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling this year.
Yeah.
A lot of traveling, probably a lot of press trips and a lot of working with tourism boards. And I know I'm going to South Florida for 9 days, the second week of March.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, it sucks. I haven't been back home in, I think, 2.5 years. So I normally go home once or twice a year. So I need to get back and just do normal bullshit, catch up with friends and family, just do things that you haven't done in 2.5 years,
Where is home?
Home?
Yeah.
Bangkok.
Right.
That I consider my home.
All right.
And where in Florida are you from?
Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay.
I grew up there since I was 3.
I used to live in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, yeah?
I lived in just west of that in Margate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my dad was a Fort Lauderdale cop.
Oh, okay.
So, I grew up during the spring break days.
Yeah, sure.
Wow.
Those are wild days.
Boy, you don't know how to have any fun.
Yeah, it sucks.
So when you come home and you have all these tales and all these stamps in your passport, are your friends' mouth agape or they're just like, oh, that's just Scott?
Yeah, but it's half the stuff they believe and half the stuff they think it's just bullshit. But so I stopped taking it personal when people don't believe you, because it's like you can't, things that happen overseas, some of them, they aren't normal.
Right.
They're not normal, and you can't.
You have a different normal.
My normal is out the window compared to like a normal 9-to-5er. It's stuck in corporate America for the rest of their life.
Right. Who has spaghetti every Tuesday night or whatever.
Taco Tuesdays.
Taco Tuesday.
Right,
yeah. Yeah,
So-
I've dealt with that where I'll tell a tale.
Taco Tuesday?
No, well, yes. I love Taco
We
Tuesday.
do know our way around Taco Tuesday.
But you get to a point, yeah.
Tuesday?
Have you seen our fat asses? We've eaten a taco.
love tacos. But
Today's Wine Wednesday.
it is Wine Wednesday.
I like this
Hump day.
I like this day.
My favorite day of the week. But you're right. Your tales get so tall, even though they're absolutely true. I've lived the same thing where people are like, no, come on. And you're just like, all right, you can believe whatever you want to believe.
Yeah,
I'm just going to keep on doing this stuff.
It is what it is.
Right.
Well, the thing is, though, you're also from Fort Lauderdale, and it ain't so bad down there either.
No, it's
So on the grand scheme of things, I mean, it's not like you're going back to Poughkeepsie and telling them about Bangkok, and everybody just looking at you with wide eyes, like. Oh, shit,
and to
what
be
is that?
honest, the weather in South Florida and the weather in Bangkok is almost identical.
Very
Yeah.
It's a little bit more humid in Bangkok, but it's,
How is that possible?
you have no idea. It is. And the traffic is like, you guys think the 405 in LA has traffic?
Try traffic with no rules.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Cairo's the craziest traffic I've ever
Rules
seen.
are optional there.
Yeah.
They're enforced when they feel like it.
But what I find amazing about Bangkok is like I was in a tuk-tuk, like in the middle of a intersection,
Right.
5 different lanes going everywhere. Nobody honks their horn.
They won't honk their horn.
It's super chill.
I drive with my girlfriend over there, and she will not honk her horn to save her life.
Wow.
Like the guy has to cut her off, and like we almost have to die for her to go honk.
It's
Wow.
amazing. It's so at the juxtaposition from the chaos.
Yeah.
And then you've got this like no honk zone. It's amazing.
Do they do the thing where any size vehicle can hold any size load? Like you'll see like 1,000.
I saw 7 people on a moped.
Yeah.
and 2 chickens.
No joke.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. Absolutely.
Serious.
Or
I posted on my Facebook and people think it's like I have Photoshopped
Like they
it.
staged
No,
it.
yeah.
No, they're just getting around.
I saw maybe like 25,000 rice bags, empty rice bags stacked in like a small pickup truck that was absolutely overloaded. And then on top of that were people.
And a goat.
No, what about the construction sites where all the construction workers are working in flip-flops?
Yeah, yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
And they have sticks holding like where we would have scaffold and stuff. They're like, yeah, just get a branch from a tree and shove it in there.
Well, they have the ladders that they use are made out of bamboo. And when they need to fix a power line, they lean the ladder on the power lines and then climb up.
Yeah.
It's the most unbelievable thing you've ever seen in your life. Because there's no such thing as lawsuits.
There's no OSHA.
There's
No OSHA.
nothing
right.
like that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's
Just don't kill yourself.
just everything.
Yeah, that's terrific. I made a movie in 2000. When did I make that?
I knew you were a movie star. You did look familiar.
2005. Yeah.
Can I have your autograph?
Well, you know what? And the movie was not great, but one of the places where we did sell the movie was Thailand. So it's there, and I'm sure we sold 5 copies, but we really sold 5,000 copies.
Right.
But there's something magical about the process where you get among the deliverables when you turn in your movie for sale is, you know, you have to write all the copy for the CD sleeves and all that stuff. And so I did that. And what I got back when I looked and I found the movie on eBay. So I got it. Actually, my friend's wife found it and she sent it to me and she said, look, man, you're a movie star. She sent me my movie and it was the copy on the back for distribution in Thailand was in English, but it was English that was translated to Thai and then back to English.
Oh, so it was all messed up.
It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It was terrific. I loved it. There was a charm about it that I'll embrace. Anyway, yeah, that was a lot of fun. What is it about Thailand that you think Americans in general don't appreciate enough of here?
No, I don't think that they don't appreciate it here. I think it's probably on everybody's bucket list that, you know, when they see these movies like The Beach and, you know, all these movies and whenever it's on the news, how can you not want to go there? I think it's on everybody's bucket list. I just feel that everybody thinks it's
unobtainable,
completely unattainable, but also on another planet. Yeah. Like the mentality of sitting on a plane for 22 hours or 24 hours is like it would blow somebody off their chair.
Yeah.
Like they can't imagine how that would be.
Like going to the moon.
Yeah. If you're only used to hour flight or 3-hour flight or 6-hour flight, 24 hours, you feel like, whoa, are you kidding me?
Hey, listeners in Nebraska, don't be chicken. Get your ass on a plane.
Don't be a Cornhusker.
Get to Bangkok. Go do it. You want to. Do it.
And Thai Air. You can share your miles on Thai Air for
Thai
upper class.
Great airline.
Silk class, I think it's called.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that a lot of people don't know. We have shitty airlines.
Oh, compared to the rest of the world?
So if you think, oh
dominates.
man, I can't stand getting on a plane because you're all cramped and they give you those shitty peanuts. Or whatever.
mean, even Europe is okay. You know, British Airways is good and Swiss Air is nice. But then you get into the Middle East and Asian airlines.
Boy.
Oh, man.
You
don't want
there's
to get
no
off the
comparison. Emirates, Singapore Air, Thai Airways, Cathay. I mean, these airlines, Qantas, these airlines, the U.S. carriers can't even touch them.
Yep.
No, you're right.
They can't touch
Not
them.
get near them.
You hear about it and then you go experience it and it's like, oh my, like you would never get an attitude problem from someone on Emirates. Like if you said, hey, could I get and it's already, yes, it's already showing up, you know.
And it's a supermodel telling you, yes.
Gorgeous.
With a awesome accent.
Yeah.
Here you just get a 70-year-old grumpy.
Yes.
The stewardess uniform doesn't even fit him anymore because their last fitting was 15 years ago. And they got the attitude from hell.
Yeah. The attitude's the attitude.
Please don't be mean to me on my next flight.
And it's easy to have an attitude from hell when your pants don't fit.
Yeah.
I'm all bunched up.
Damn, bitch, get it altered.
Yeah. Help yourself out a little.
But yeah, they do very well. And that'll change here. We'll get it. You know,
Sure.
for a long time, our cars weren't high quality. You know, we got it. We figured it out. But yeah, the way they do the airlines thing, man, they are very fortunate. It is fantastic.
Super amazing.
And the food is rock star.
Wow.
Yeah. That's for sure.
That's good enough reason to stay in Thailand alone.
Oh yeah,
the
Thai
food is
Air,
off the
flew
chart.
Thai Air, and every hour they brought fresh noodles out. Fresh noodle? You want noodle? Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
The answer is yes.
The answer is always yes to that
Right.
fresh noodle.
Fly across the international date line as well so that you can experience Taco Tuesday twice.
Taco Tuesday.
Oh, look, it's still Taco Tuesday.
When I come back here from Guam, as you did from Thailand,
How long is the flight?
I arrive before I left.
How long is
Yeah.
the flight?
It depends. There's you can fly from Guam to Honolulu to here, and that's 7 hours and then 5.
Right.
So 12 hours that way. But the other common route is from Guam to Narita to here, and that's 4 and then 12.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So right around
depends how you
15.
get here, but yeah,
That's
you know,
cool.
You got to plan for,
Or you
just
could
plan
swim
on
for
burning a day,
or you could swim for 3 weeks.
And die.
right?
Never
Yeah.
come anywhere near it.
No, but all right.
I want to ask a social media question that is outside of your comfort zone, but it's something I'm curious in your thoughts. So one of the things we do, one of our facets of our shows, we talk about warriors and strategy and how we do better at going abroad as a military, as a country to help out political things and conflict zones. One of the things that we struggle with is our military tries to have a social media presence, but they handle it, from my view, they handle it like how we all would. It's about selfies. It's about, hey, this is what I'm doing. Where the enemy, the quote unquote enemy, is doing something totally different. ISIS has a great social media platform. They are very effective at it. They scare the fuck out of people. And the 82nd Airborne, which is a million times more lethal, is like, hey, tonight's tonight's Taco Tuesday or whatever. They don't approach it from that angle to move people. And so one of the facets that I've developed in the stuff that I've done is you've got to be able to win wars now, not just militarily, but socially, politically, with religion, culturally. And if you can't speak in those terms as a military, as a nation going abroad, try to help somebody, you're really going to be ineffective. So how does that sit with you? What does a military, what does the State Department, how do they approach social media to get the same kind of bang, not on the negative side that the ISIS guys do?
Bang. Probably wrong word choice.
All right. How do they get the same kind of impact, but with a positive way towards a more benevolent goal?
If I was in charge of building out the strategy for something like that, the first thing I would do is first off, you got to narrow down what countries you're really, what's your ultimate goal? What does the finish line look like? Narrow down the countries or the continents that you're looking for, and then find how you can help maybe nonprofits and things like that in those countries, and form collaborations with a lot of those companies and organizations within those countries. And, just get aggressive with gaining an aggressive, and engaging following, and really just put your name out there, but in the right way. Attach yourself to people doing good, because definitely give first, ask later. It's again, it's way out of my comfort zone.
Sure. Yeah.
But if just spitballing, just throwing off the top of my head, that's what I would do.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense. There are a lot of NGOs that bring help, and NGOs are typically a little more left-leaning than, say, the military.
Sure.
And so there's already a conflict there between a cross-cultural conflict.
Well, you also got to understand that with the military, the end result, they're looking at decisions, and it's always going to be political. It's not always giving back.
Yes.
It's always, who is going to benefit from this? Are we going to piss this guy off? So you can't say this, you can't do that, you can't do this. And that's one of the reasons when you're overseas, you have a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah, no, and one of the things that I've seen that works well, that the military and the State Department in particular struggle at, is sharing of culture. We always try to not be offensive. I don't want to offend you. How do I shake hands? That kind of thing. Worry less about that and be less of a douchebag.
Be knowledgeable about what you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Don't just guess.
Yeah,
don't think that it's one of the things, and I see it a lot when Americans travel abroad. They think because we are the leading economy, the leading country that basically shapes most cultures in the world, they think that when we go abroad that we walk on water.
Right.
And you absolutely shouldn't think that.
Yeah.
Learn about and have respect for other people's cultures.
And I would
also go there for that reason. And I think, if you're speaking military, not sure how to win a war about it. But the overarching problem that we're talking about with Americans interacting with people from abroad is, sure, you should absolutely know the customs and what you're not supposed to do and all that stuff, but exude the sincerity of wanting to know what you're not supposed to do. Because even though you do it, I just flipped Teresa off. No, I'm not supposed to do that, but we're smiling about it because she, that's how it is. You have to, once you establish yourself as a person who says, hey guys,
Everybody's getting flipped off.
we're passing them around. Once you establish yourself as sincerely being a person who is there to experience what they have to offer and not an imposition, it's a whole different dynamic.
You've taken the bar and you put it at a proper level. For someone who wants to travel, you don't have to know all the answers. Yeah, brush up, buy a book, read up, spend some time doing that. But it's okay to say, I'm unfamiliar with how you guys do this. Like I would use that tool all the time. I would talk about Ramadan. And I would say, here, Christmas is sort of like our Ramadan. And that would create a cross-cultural conversation where we weren't worried about mistakes. We know we're different and it's okay. But you have to be able to say, I don't know exactly what's going on. I would love your help. And then I've even had other elders take me to another elder and say, it's okay. Pete doesn't understand these things. I'm trying to show him. Will you show him? And allows that person to be the guide for you culturally. And it's such a moneymaker.
Right. If you're accepting of the advice,
right.
You got that treatment because you went over there with open arms and an open mind.
And my mouth shut.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then they could make fun of you and go, look at Pete. He's big and clumsy.
The problem is human nature. You want to magnify your strengths and you want to hide your weaknesses because you think that lessens you as a person.
Right.
And you really have to, I'd rather magnify my weakness because my strengths, I have a couple. Right. I don't have a lot, but what I am good at, I'm very good at. I have many more weaknesses, but why wouldn't I focus on my strengths?
Sure.
Definitely say, hey guys, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this. Don't ask me to do it. Surround myself with smarter people than myself and then practically everybody. And then we can get everything done as a team.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you win. But the problem is there's too much fucking ego.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you have to seek to understand, but not accept. You don't have to accept Sharia law, but if you can understand how their context is, now you're in a position where you can say, I see why you do that. I don't agree with it.
Right.
But I can at least understand why you're in this position. For sure. The other thing too is break bread with people. And yes, go to a restaurant, but more importantly, cook your meal for them and allow them to cook their meal for you because cooking is family.
Well, that's big in Asia.
Yeah.
Everything, I have a friend who's he's a foreigner as well. He's a little bit Thai, but he's much more foreigner and he speaks, reads and writes like 18 languages. He'll probably be listening to this podcast. What's up, Jay?
Hey Jay, what's up, man?
So, and we've had lots of conversations and he'll be the first one to tell you the majority of what Thai people talk about, the number one topic they talk about is food.
Yeah.
It dominates maybe 60% of their conversations.
But we talk about food a lot too.
Sure. 100%.
A human thing. It's a universal human thing among people who have food.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
First world problems.
I'm on a diet. Can I just tell you I'm on a diet?
Is that why you're wearing a big hoodie?
Shit sucks. It sucks. No, it doesn't suck that.
He's eating like crazy stuff too.
I am. I had flaxseed for breakfast. I had flaxseed and coconut milk with a banana.
Sounds like me. I had wheat juice,
natural stuff.
wheatgrass shots,
Yeah.
and a green juice.
But what I'm doing different, I don't mind eating that stuff, but I'm avoiding all the stuff I really want to eat, like the stuff downstairs.
I might go to In-N-Out when I leave here.
Yeah.
You should.
Thank you I appreciate you rubbing that in.
You should.
That's good because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get myself a steak sandwich or something somewhere. It's going to be good. Anyway, yeah.
Animal style.
Yeah. Is that how you do it? Animal style? That's great.
Sure. Why not?
Do you crave In-N-Out when you're gone?
It's the first thing I wanted to do when I was here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I got here, the guy who flew me in, he's like, what do you want to do? I'll set it up. Do you want to go see Alcatraz? You want to go see this? I want to go to In-N-Out.
That's right.
When you're
That's easy.
overseas, you crave the simplest things.
Yeah.
It's never, the big thing is you can get anywhere.
Yeah.
I can eat at 6-star resorts in Asia all day long.
Right.
I can have the best service, the best food, the best hotels all day long. You miss the little things
Right.
that don't leave the borders.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Okay?
for sure.
Like I can't get blow pops outside of the U.S.
Wow.
How asinine is that?
Yeah.
I love blow pops, and
Yeah.
you can't get them overseas.
And then you fixate on them.
Yeah, it's just I'm a little kid. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. So I like In-N-Out and blow pops.
Well, we like the fact that you haven't figured out what you want to be when you grow up because we all get to
Yeah, it's
follow
kinda
you
cool.
and live vicariously through whatever it is you're up to.
Me and Fly Solo.
Yeah.
That's it. We got
Yeah.
all the military questions out of the way. We got the
Yeah.
the diet lineup. You know, everything's
Yeah.
done.
Plug the things that we want to plug. Teresa, go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you and learn how about traveling solo and all those things.
Yeah, so at Fly Solo is one of my Twitter accounts, and I'm going to start focusing on mama travel with at Jet Set Mama. Yeah, jetsetmama.com will be launching shortly.
And Mr. Scott Eddy.
I don't want to plug anything. I love my followers.
All right.
And if you're not yet a follower, he's at Mr. Scott Eddy.
Whoop,
Yeah.
whoop.
At
Whoop,
MR
whoop.
Scott Eddy.
Yeah.
Tell us, you're the global brand spokesperson now
The global brand ambassador for Zipkick.
for Zipkick.
All right. Well,
You can check it out, zipkick.com.
zipkick.com. By the time this show goes out, it should be live. So is there anything you want to say with
Really? This isn't going out for 2 or 3 weeks?
That's
Yeah,
true.
probably about 2 or 3 weeks. It takes that much time.
It took you 10 minutes to set up the studio,
Yeah.
but it takes you 3 weeks to
Oh
put
my
out the
goodness.
podcast.
Yeah. You don't even know, man. It is. It is.
We put up our 25th podcast this week. We have 16 in the can.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the problem has not
And
been.
you started in 2004.
Yeah, we sit down with people. It takes a minute because we're both we got to make a living.
Sure.
So you got to edit everything together and you got to make it sound right. So
And some of the things that we capture, we don't capture quite as well. You know, there are some people who we can only get on Skype. And then when we get a Skype call, some of those are stellar when they have a nice microphone or they're used to Skyping that way, so they're prepared. But, you know, sometimes there's a Skype call where a guy's got a laptop.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
You know, the microphone's not great.
Cool.
but yeah, so is there anything you want to say now, knowing that this will go up after that?
No, everything's good. Just check it out, zipkick.com. That's it.
Zipkick.com.
Nothing for myself.
Right.
I don't have any books. Not that smart. I just tweet a lot and I post on Instagram.
And he
I'll be
tweets
writing his
interesting
book.
stuff. So, yeah, you guys follow him.
Yeah.
Mr. Scott Eddy.
Teresa will be ghostwriting my life.
Yeah.
And Teresa also has an episode of the Break It Down show. That's just scroll back a little bit in time and you'll see her episode. And she just wants you to get out and go travel. So do what she says.
That show will be launched in 1 month.
Thanks a lot.
All right, guys.
Thanks.
It's been fun.